I wanted to share my experiences combining Lego based therapy with Social Thinking's We Thinkers curriculum. I've used the We Thinkers curriculum for 3 years and had great success with it, but I don't feel like it meets all my students' needs. I've been using Lego based therapy for the past year and have found that it pairs well with the We Thinkers curriculum, and it allows me to extend the time I spend on each social thinking concept if I feel like my students need more time before we move on to the next concept. If you're not familiar with Lego based therapy, it's an amazing way to work on social skills that was created by a neuropsychologist about 20 years ago. It gets kids working cooperatively and helps build verbal communication skills and fine motor skills. I've also found that it gives me another way to have kids practice skills like asking for help and using positive self talk. Children work together to build a Lego structure, each child playing one of three different roles. One role is the engineer. The engineer has the set of instructions and requests Lego bricks from the supplier, plus guides the builder in putting the bricks together. The supplier has the Lego bricks and searches for the specific bricks the engineer has requested, then gives them to the builder. The builder follows the engineer's instructions to put the Lego structure together. You don't have to have these fancy cards, but they are nice since they outline exactly what each student should do. I got these cards off of Teachers Pay Teachers, and I'll include a link below. You can make your own cards, or you can just explain the rules without having cards. Each child should get to play each role one time during a group. In my groups, we typically read and discuss a few pages of the We Thinkers book, do one of the activities from the We Thinkers curriculum, and then we usually have time for students to play each of the three roles for 3 to 5 minutes per role. To give you an example, if a group was building the rocket pictured here, the engineer, depending on their experience with Legos, might say something like, we need a red rectangle, we need a red rectangle with 8 holes, we need a red rectangle with 8 circles, we need a red 2x4. The supplier would look in the bag or box of Legos and pull out that piece and then give it to the builder. The engineer would then say something like, we need 2 red pieces that are slanted, or we need 2 red pieces that are like a slide. The supplier would pull out those pieces and give them to the builder. Then the engineer would say to the builder, you put the 2 slanted pieces on top of the rectangle. The slanted part should be on the outside. And the builder would start putting it together based on those instructions. When you're going over this in the beginning, it's very important to make sure students understand that only the engineer should look at the book and that the engineer is to tell the other students what to do with words, not show them what to do. Sometimes it helps to pull the engineer's chair out from the table a bit so that they don't accidentally show the book to the builder and the supplier, or to keep the builder and the supplier from peeking at the book. It's also important to tell your students it can be really difficult to build something without looking at the book and that they'll have to be patient with one another. Let them know it's okay if it takes a long time for the supplier to find the right brick, and it's okay if the builder has to try putting bricks together multiple times before they get it right. Have them practice positive self-talk that may help them through these moments, such as, I can do it, or I can do hard things. Tell them they can ask for help if they're really stuck, that you want them to try really, really hard before they ask for help. Have everyone practice asking for help. Sometimes kids try to jump in and help without being asked to. Instruct them in the beginning that they are to only do their job unless someone asks them for help. But students will likely need reminders about this as they build. Lego therapy is not for everyone. I absolutely love it, but occasionally I have students for whom it's just not a good fit. This is typically students who have severe ADHD and don't have the focus needed for this type of group. That said, don't give up on Lego-based therapy because your first session or two doesn't go well. It can take a few times for kids to get the hang of it, and in the beginning, you may need to be feeding lots of language to kids. Like you can teach suppliers to say, is this it? Or teach builders to say, is this right? You can teach engineers to give extra information like, it's a little bigger than that, or teach them to encourage the supplier if the supplier is having a hard time. In the beginning, engineers may not know how to describe some of the more complicated types of bricks. You can describe the brick to the engineer and have them repeat after you. You'll do less and less of this as they build their vocabulary. For the first book on thinking thoughts and feeling feelings, the Duplo Build Me Emotion set is awesome, but it is pretty pricey. It's usually in the $70 to $90 range. You can build figures showing different emotions on their faces and then let the kids play with the figures. If this set just interests you in general, if you Google Build Me Emotions Teacher's Guide, you can look at the guide and read about other activities you can do. Don't be afraid to ask for Lego sets to be purchased for you. I thought for sure I would get turned down when I asked for the Build Me Emotion set because it's so expensive, but I went ahead and gave it a shot, and the building principal didn't even bat an eye. Some boards of education or PTOs offer $500 or $1,000 grants. If your district does this, apply for a grant to get the Lego sets you need. The worst they can say is no, right? For the second book, The Group Plan, which takes place on a farm, you can get the Lego tractor that is usually in the $16 to $20 range. For the third book, Thinking with Your Eyes, which takes place in space, you can get the Lego Creator 3-in-1 Space Shuttle set. It is on the pricey side. It's usually around $40, but the nice thing about the Creator 3-in-1 sets is that they include instructions for building 3 different things rather than just one. With this set, kids can build a space shuttle, a rocket, and a lunar lander. It also comes with an astronaut minifigure, and it's nice to have minifigures when you give kids the chance to play with the Lego structure after they've finished building it, since minifigures can interact with each other and enhance the play. For the fourth book, Body in the Group, which takes place in the ocean, the Lego Creator 3-in-1 Sea Creature set is only $12 and allows kids to build a shark, a crab, a squid, and an anglerfish. For the fifth book, Whole Body Listening, that takes place in a zoo, I've used the Lego Creator 3-in-1 Wild Lion set, which is around $13 and allows kids to build a lion, a warthog, and an ostrich. For the sixth book, Hidden Rules and Expected and Unexpected Behaviors, if you want to get really fancy, there's a Lego pirate ship, but it is about $100. If you want to be less fancy, for the seventh book, Smart Guess, you can get the small white Lego set that is usually just around $5. Or there is a Lego penguin for about $15. For book 8, Flexible and Stuck Thinking, there's a Lego ice cream truck. It's only around $16. For book 9, Size of the Problem, there's a Lego Creator 3-in-1 dinosaur set that's usually just around $12. For book 10, Sharing an Imagination, you can get the small Lego City Fire Rescue Helicopter on the left. Those sets are usually just about $5. Or there is a larger rescue helicopter that's $40. If you want to try Lego-based therapy, but you're not concerned with tying Lego projects in so closely to the books, you can get 1 or 2 of the Lego Classic sets that include books with many different projects that students can build. And some of the projects tie into the books anyway, like little dinosaurs and rockets. And it can be nice because these smaller projects take a lot less time. So there you have it, We Thinkers and Lego-based therapy combined. When Lego-based therapy does not work well with students, I will sometimes use my sand tray and miniatures to reinforce the concepts in We Thinkers instead. I'll be creating a video about that soon if that's something that interests you.